Hello, and thank you for joining me today as we wrap up our muscles of the upper body, and then we'll start on the lower body after this. But muscles that move the forearm and hand is what we're going to talk about today. So at the end of this video, I hope that you can identify muscles associated with moving the arm. You're going to be able to label muscles of the arm as prime mover, synergist, or antagonist. We're going to look at origin and insertion points of major muscles, and we're going to explain differences between extensor and flexor muscles of the forearm. So those are today's objectives, today's goals. So for starters, muscles that move the forearm. So the first one that moves the forearm is the biceps brachii. This originates at your coracoid process, along with your glenoid fossa. Inserts at the radius. So if it originates at your shoulder, inserts at the radius, it's going to be able to flex your forearm and rotate the hand laterally. Rotate it outwards so the pinky is up and your thumb goes towards the floor. Your brachialis originates on the anterior shaft of the humerus. Inserts at your coronoid process of the ulna and functions to flex your forearm. Your brachioradialis originates on the distal lateral end of the humerus. Inserts on the lateral surface of the radius above the styloid process and functions to flex the forearm at the elbow. Your last one, so notice these three all flex the forearm. So when you do bicep curls, depending on how your hand is positioned, you can work all three of these muscles. Your prime mover is going to be your biceps brachii, but your brachialis and your brachioradialis can be synergist if your hand is, if you point your thumb at the sky when you do your curls. Your triceps brachii is on the back of your arm. It originates at the inferior glenoid fossa, the lateral and medial humerus, and it inserts at the olecranon process of the ulna. So it originates along the glenoid fossa and the humerus itself, inserts at the olecranon process of the ulna. Its function is to extend your forearm, so it's the opposite of these three. So these are one of those pairs that work together as muscles. So while these guys are the prime mover and synergist, this is going to be your antagonist. If you're doing extensions, you're doing tricep extensions, your tricep is going to be your prime mover, and these guys are going to be your antagonists because they're doing the opposite. So taking a look at this is your biceps brachii. So here's your two heads of your bicep muscle. So the coracoid process and the glenoid fossa. It inserts down on your radius and pulls it upwards. Your brachialis originates at your humerus, inserts down on the ulna, and likewise does the same thing, flex the arm at the elbow. And then your brachioradialis is here and runs all the way down to your thumb. So this is your brachioradialis, which starts here and runs all the way down to the thumb. This is showing you the opposite side, so you can see a little bit up there. Again, when it contracts, it's going to pull this up in this direction, which is flexing your forearm at the elbow. On the back of your arm, you have your tricep muscle. So there's an insertion or origin point here, and there's one here as well as underneath this. Notice they all insert at your olecranon process of the ulna, which is going to, when they contract, it's going to pull your arm back out. It's going to extend your arm at the elbow and increase that angle between your radius and ulna and your humerus. Here's another look at it. You can see kind of all of your muscles layered over top of one another, but this is how your arm looks with everything together, is all here. You'll notice that your muscles on the front are your antagonists that work with pairs with the muscle on the back. So this is your tricep muscle, here are your bicep muscles, and they work in pairs. So one is the antagonist, one is the prime mover. We talk about moving the hand. I don't care that you know each of these individually, but you need to know that the extensor muscles function to extend your fingers at the hand, make your hands really wide. So when I say open your hands, those are your extensors working. You have your extensor carpi radialis, extensor carpi radialis brevis, extensor carpi ulnaris, and extensor digitorum. All of them extend the hand, extend the fingers. They are located, if you look at your hands, put your hands palm down on your desk or on your table. Your extensor muscles are what you see on your forearm right now. It's that outside of your forearm is where your extensors are. Your flexor muscles do the opposite. They flex your hand and your fingers. So if you flip your hand over, so your palm is up, you have your flexor carpi radialis longus, your flexor carpi ulnaris, your palmaris longus, your flexor digitorum profundus, and your flexor digitorum superficialis. All of these function to flex your fingers and can eventually flex your wrist as well. But if you flip, so palm up and you look at your forearm, this is where your flexors are. So when you contract, you make a fist, the muscles on this side of your forearm are contracting to make that happen. Here's a picture. So these are all of your extensors on this side. Your flexors are on the opposite side. Again, they work in pairs. So when these are the prime movers, these are your antagonists, and vice versa. All right, here's a review of your muscles muscles of the forearm and muscles of the hand. So what is the function of your biceps brachii? Which muscle in your arm does the most work when doing a push-up? How are the extensor and flexor muscles of the forearm different? Which is easier, curls with your thumb up or curls with your palm pointed up? And then give me an answer on that last one, on why that is. But thank you for your time and attention today. I look forward to working through the lower body with you. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I'd be more than happy to review with you and give you kind of a new way to think about it. But enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you later.